Alright, so as promised, this is a review of my 2008 Mercedes CLS550 with the AMG package. So to give you a little, I guess, information here. You know, this is the car that I went ahead and replaced my 2005 Volvo S60R with. And it is, I always liked the car in particular. So I guess to give you a little backdrop, it was probably 2011 was the first time I probably actually sat in a CLS. I can't even remember if it's a 500 or 550 at the time. I was working at the Flint Auto Auction, and I got in one, and the first moment I got in one, I noticed this. I mean, I noticed the shoulder mark right here and the transition between the dash and the door panel and how seamless it was. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have got to get me one of these one day. You know, I didn't really think, as I stated before, that I would actually ever own one because of how much they cost. But, you know, I thought it was just an elegant, sporty, delicious vehicle. And so, okay, so let's skip all the what I thought it was and everything. Let's get to the main numbers here. Okay, so we got a 5.5 liter V8 producing 382 horsepower and 392 foot-pound torque. Okay, those are very decent numbers, very decent numbers. And the car itself weighs 4,065 pounds. So you take a car that weighs 4,065 pounds, which isn't too bad for this size of a vehicle, and you mash that up and you come up with, from Mercedes, they say 5.4 0 to 60. Okay. However, if you look at Car and Driver's tested 2007 CLS 550, as well as other quotes in different areas from articles published from this particular engine and model, they actually recorded something better, which was around a 4.7 and a 4.6 0 to 60. Now, the discrepancy I'm not sure of, because I mean, this car has a couple of things that you can dial in. For instance, you can turn the transmission to sport mode, and as you drive it a little bit harder and harder, it will adapt itself and perform much better. So you got a comfort and sport mode that can be found right there. Also, you have the suspension settings, which you can change right there. I don't know how much suspension settings will make a difference, but you know, I'm assuming maybe, I don't know, it'll drop the car a little bit, make it a little bit better, because you have a Sport 1 and Sport 2 mode that you can go down into. So the big thing is this. Okay, so I had a 2000 and the 2005 Volvo S60R, which was rated at a 0 to 60 of 5.4 or 5.5 seconds with the 300 horsepower inline 5 with the turbo. Now that was with the manual. With the automatic in 2006, they made a much better automatic that got a 0 to 60 of roughly the same time. However, mine was a 2005 with the old transmission, so it got about a 6.1060. Now, I know that's what it was out of the factory. Sure, after multiple years, it wasn't performing at that level. Neither is this 08, maybe. But let's just say that. Let's just say mine was a 6.1 and this is a 5.4. It can't be. A half a second, 0 to 60? No, this car is way faster. I mean, when I'm saying way faster, I mean much faster. So, you know, I truly believe if you drive this car the right way and you know what you're doing, you can get down into those sub 5 levels. You know, some of the things the car has, as I demonstrated coming out of the garage, the park sensors here, and also, maybe you can see them, maybe you can't. You can't see them. I'll have to do it when I stop. It's in the rear at the top there. You have another park sensor for the back. It has the paddle shifters, as you can see here. That's a part of the AMG package. It has an AMG exhaust note, which sounds pretty good. I can't demonstrate exactly right now. It also has the what else? Front fascia that's slightly different for the AMG and the AMG wheels. Okay. Some really nice features in here. I'll kind of show you really quickly in the middle. I don't know if I'd really like this stuff, but it's very, very good. For instance, if I hit that, okay, that's my phone. I got to get a plug for that. Tells me my speed, resets my air pressure and also temperature outside, and tells me my service, which wasn't reset. Also, I can use my radio through here, through some features. This is one I really like because I can never tell what road I'm on. And I'm bad about remembering street names, so it tells me the street that I'm on. It tells me also the direction I'm traveling in if I don't want to look at the Navi. There's some reset stuff in there with vehicle conveniences, like when the lights turn on, if the door's locked, blah, blah, blah. And then here's back to my trip, which one is every time I start the car, it'll tell me. The other one is from their last reset. Then my miles to empty. Okay, that's normal stuff. So, I mean, it's nice. And as you can see down there by the C, that tells me roughly if I'm in comfort mode or in sport mode, it'll change. And then, of course, the D will change when I'm doing the paddle shifting, okay? So, you know, that's basically that. The car also comes with a 4-zone climate control. So you got the 2 up here. You see the rear temp over there on the side. That also controls the rear if you want to do it manually, or they can do that in the back seat because it has an island that runs, because it's a 4-seater. Let's see what else. You got the Navi, you got the satellite radio, you got the heated and cooled seats, the rear shade that can go up and down, you know, with the press of a button. Also, you have the headrests where you can drop those, you know, and then you have, you know, that cool James Bond feature, which I'll show you a little later. But the cabin itself is pretty clean. Engine start stop right there. Yeah, so I wish right now I can demonstrate to you the amount of power that it has, but I can't because I'm at a light and the people in front of me are probably going to go pretty slow. I'm going to focus this off to the side a little bit for a moment or two because I'm in stoplight traffic and people look over and, you know, my windows aren't the most tinted in the world, so I don't want to look like that dweeb. But yeah, this is just an overall, I mean, you can just tell by the picture that the materials that are going on in this car are outrageous. I mean, just great. I mean, just really good at materials. And I've been in other cars, and they've been good too, but this is really surrounding. Almost everything you touch is leather or something very nice. There's no, you know, plastics or anything. Now we're moving again, so I can come back up a little bit. I mean, this car is an effortless car. So you can drive it most time and barely touch 2,000 RPMs and go over it slightly. You don't have to. It's a 5.5 liter V8 with a 7-speed transmission. I mean, you just don't have to. So, you know, over here you got your traditional Mercedes. Let me see if I can focus. Probably not right now. There you go. Cruise control features, which work very, very nicely. Hey, we'll get a little slow down. Let's see if we can. No, nobody's turning. Just people slowing down for no reason. I can see if I can do a little bit of, you know, that, which is a little bit delayed right now, but I can because I've already ran into the car in front of me, as you can see. So yeah, I can't do too much right now. But yeah, this car is refined. So I'm just gonna take a second and you're gonna look at it going just about 55 miles per hour, turning about 1400 RPMs, and hear how quiet it is. Now I'm gonna say this one thing before I say anything. The front tires aren't the best on this car. They were replaced, I guess, because one of them was replaced because of maybe, you know, maybe it went flat. So they have P0s on the back, which are really great. I'm gonna put some P0s up in the front, so you might hear just a little bit of sound, but you don't get a whole lot of wind noise. You see? So yeah, this car is, I mean, it is, I mean, I got the sunroof visor part open, and a lot of times that brings in a lot of extra sound, and this car non-existent. I'm pretty sure the drag coefficient is crazy on this car. And yeah, I mean, I've done some repairs. That was part of the bargaining price to bring my price down on the car. The side window, passenger side window, was loose. I had to go into the door and tighten it up. Very simple job. Very, very simple job to do. I have a video recorded of that. I also had to replace the front headlight. That turned out to be a little bit more difficult because of basically a clip that was going bad, and actually it fell further into the headlight assembly, which required me to take off the front bumper slightly on one side to take the light out and retrieve the clip. Yeah, that was a little not so much fun. And also I had to remove the head instrument cluster here because somebody sprayed Almirol and it got on the back side of the glass, and I couldn't look at it. I had to take care of it. That's also recorded in another video. Besides that, if you look down here, you have the ride height adjustment also, which raises the car up 3 inches and down, the parking assist, which you can turn on and off, and also the dampeners that you can turn on. So yeah, I mean, this car is just smooth as can be. Anyway, I just want to take a quick video for you guys to see. You know, it's a rainy / cloudy day here in Michigan. I think you like, just keep this in your repertoire. I got some other stuff coming. I think I got to bring in a couple clips. So again, just a few final notes about the Mercedes. Like I said, everything's pretty quality parts. The door handles, after a while, I can tell they're not made out of complete silver, so they may eventually, just like any other car, start to crack a little bit. There are a couple of things that are a little bit different, and let me show you what I'm talking about. There's just a few different things. So what you'll have to get used to is, number one, there's nothing on this side of the steering wheel. And you think, oh, that's great. There's nothing here. But that means everything is on this side of the steering wheel. I don't know if you can see one. It's kind of hard for me to show you. Maybe I'll open this up here. You'll see 1, 2, and a third stock up there. So what you'll notice here is right now it's at an offset. Right now this is turned. This is for the windshield wipers. When you turn them, you can go from an automatic rain sensor to progressive to all the time. So it's usually sitting at this, let's see here, this angle here, which is perfect for when you're using your turn signals, right? Your hand falls on a flat surface. Well, when you turn it once for the automatic, it's just a little bit annoying that your finger is touching up against an angle versus a flat. Okay, not a big thing. It's just, and you got used to it. I got used to it. It's just something to note. A lot of people, I had, my dad drive a car, a friend drive the car. They kept trying to switch lanes or use the signals with the traditional styled cruise control that Mercedes has. It's great. All you have to do is just, when you want to set it, just press it up. When you want to slow it, and when you speed up, you press it up. When you want to slow down, you press it down. You can hold it and it'll be progressive, slow you down. And then when you want to cancel it out, it's a perfect system. It's worked for many, many years. But this is just a little bit slightly annoying. And let's see what else. Shoot, I'm trying to remember what was the other thing that also sometimes got my nerves. Oh yeah, sometimes too, this is just a little bit awkward. Every time you turn off the car, you have to open the door, and then the steering wheel slides up, and so you can't just get right out the car right away, because then you're putting pressure on the motor as you're trying to pull down on here. You're pulling down on this, and you're putting pressure on the motor as you're trying to get out the car if you do it like I do. Also, some of the buttons here aren't necessarily the best quality. Sometimes they get a little stuckish, like you can see there. They're going to always work, which is I love. And they're not coated with some plastic coating like what Audi or something would put on that would eventually rub off, which is 100% awesome. But it doesn't, they sometimes when you're trying to press them, it doesn't go as easily, as nice as you hoped. This, if it'll work, it probably won't right now because I don't have the car on, but this is where, your James Bond. That, again, now you can see what I mean by the buttons. Sometimes they kind of work, sometimes they don't. CD player sits, awesome 6 CD, and you got one up there at the top. It doesn't do MP3s with CDRs. I believe you have to use a DVD-R at the top, and it'll show all your information readout on the screen, which would be really cool, but you got to make sure you have a DVD-R drive, which you can rewrite. Yeah, and let's see, what else do we have here? I got TVs in the headrest, like I said, for the kid. It's a really nice system. It came with the car. Yeah, so just looking around, I really think that's it. I mean, there's information there up top. It's just a really good car. I love the parking sensors. I would say if you're looking for one and I'm moving down to Ann Arbor and I'm going to have another kind of small garage like this, maybe possibly smaller. This is a lifesaver because if you don't have this, you have that little itty bitty window back there, which doesn't really show you a whole lot of anything, and you don't really know where the back of the bumper is. So up at the top there, you'll see that little black area and the headliner. That's another one of what I showed you when I parked. That thing up there, you look in your rearview mirror, see, kind of like so, and then you can see as it beeps when you're getting close to something in the back. Yes, a backup camera would have been nice, but this system works perfectly fine also. Again, judging on the year that you get it from. Down here again, you see where you can turn off your park assist down there. Your sport modes that you have are sitting right here. Sport 1 will light up the first, I don't know if you can see it, I'm trying to zoom in. There's 2 LEDs, one, and then I'll do the second one for Sport 2, and this is where you raise the car 3 inches. Also here you have to drop your rear shade coming up and down the back, your privacy shade for heat. You have drop your headrest, your locking, and your ESP, and your heated and cooled seats. I just love Mercedes puts that right there. Boom, you turn it off and you can have some fun. I really don't usually do it because the tires are probably going to be pretty expensive from what I can see. They're, right now I got Pirelli P0s, but they're 285 35s on 18s. So I can imagine burning those up would cost me just a little bit of money to replace. Has a nice Harman Kardon system in here. I think it's okay. It is not the most sophisticated system. Like in my Volvo, I could do a lot more to articulate the sound, bring out the echo, do different things. This really just has 3 settings that you can go along with that you can use. And that's pretty much it. Also, I will say this, while the brakes are perfectly capable and I haven't used them to a great degree, the brake feel is a little bit different. Like compared to the Volvo S60R, those had the Brembo 14-inch brakes. I know there was a little bit smaller car, but those things just had tons of feel, tons of grip. Gave me the most confidence in the world. And they were just outstanding brakes. I will give it to Volvo on going with Brembo and doing that setup. Beautiful. These work very good too, but they don't feel like my Brembos on the Volvo. And that's, just something to consider. If you never had the Volvo S60R and you went to this, you wouldn't know. You would think these are world-class brakes, but I got to be honest here in my review, and there is just a little bit of difference there. That's it. But steering, suspension, transmission, everything else in this car is the top of the top notch. And it is like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. It is the all car. You can take your kid. You got plenty of backseat space. It's an excellent ride alone kind of car. And it has all the styles and features that you're looking for. So again, this is my extended review. I know I'm mumbling on and saying a lot, but so far so good. We'll see what the true cost of ownership turns out to be. Especially, I'm not going to be driving it as much, being very short commute in Ann Arbor. But, we'll see if we got any type of air suspension issues that come up, air pump. There's a really great guy on YouTube that I watch all his videos that gives great information. I'll get his name and plug it in because he's an awesome source of information. That's it. But, again, thanks for watching and tuning in, guys. As always, take care. Bye. So... Golly. Yeah. It moves. Again, just want to show a quick demonstration. I didn't have the... So I took those couple of videos real quick. You'll notice that I was in comfort mode. And, I didn't have anything special. Plus, I've been driving the car easy pretty much, so the transmission probably wasn't adapted as well as it could be. But the point about it is that this is I just wanted to show, just off the cuff, if you need to get out of a situation, what kind of power this car actually has, without going through all the let's get it down and get it going, because this is not the kind of car you race in. This is the kind of car that you just take a nice drive in. You enjoy the air suspension, the sportiness of it. I didn't use the paddle shifters. I'm sure I could probably have gotten to 60 in 2 gears versus 3 if I did it manually. So don't judge me based off of those quick shoots right there. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Totally know how to accelerate. Probably better if I did it in a straight line. But I'm heading from one place to another for work. And I'm counting mileage, so I don't want to kill my gas doing that either. So just wanted to give you a quick information on why the car was set up in comfort mode, why all the settings might not have been tweaked perfectly. All right, thanks guys.